like a river attendeth my way. When sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my life, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul.
Good evening, and welcome everyone. This is Pastor Errol Williams here from the Church of God of Prophecy in Wembley. Once again, I'm so honored and privileged to have the opportunity to share with you the living Word of God here on a Wednesday fun time with Errol Williams. And I'm so excited to have the opportunity to share with you some tips tonight that you may find useful. Tips that you may already know, tips that you may want to share with others around you. But I want to say thank you so much for joining me tonight on Fun Time. Just to remind you that we are streaming in quite a few places, and so we want you to be as comfortable as possible and having all the resources that you need at your fingertips. So you can communicate with me in a variety of different ways if you so wish. If you're on Zoom, you can use the voice or telephone system in Zoom, or you can just text. Or you want to text me personally, maybe you don't want no one to know that you are making a particular point, then use the text system. Just want to make sure that we're on the text facility within the phone. So please do go ahead, and I'll be grateful to hear from you. Again, want to say a big thank you to everyone who's watching from the different places. Bless you. And as I said, tonight is about fun time with Pastor Errol. Fun time. And not so sure what fun there would be tonight, but it's fun time nonetheless, and hopefully there will be some tips or things that I could share with you that may be useful or beneficial to you. There are some really amazing ones I shared last week, and I find those to be extraordinary tips that will really improve the church in terms of marketing and publicity and things like that. It certainly has done that for us in Wembley. We've been able to produce some amazing professional layouts, flyers and things like that, videos and all the likes, and it has really been exceptional for us. So it's always good to share what you've learned and share it with other people. And that's one of the things about us at the Church of God of Prophecy Wembley. We just like to share, and freely we received, freely we give. And I have no problem with sharing with the world the things that I have learned, and I think they can be beneficial. as they were to me. So I like to pray, even though it's fun time. It's still Bible studies. We're still in Bible studies in that sense, but I'd like us to pray. So let's begin with prayer, and then we get going. Father, thank you for all that you do and are doing. Bless your holy name. So, Father, as we gather tonight to have fun, I pray that your presence will still be with us and that you will guide, direct, and have your way. In Jesus' name, amen. Now, I always like to share my setup, if you like, with you. So I always like to start with the setup that I use, and I think it's an amazing setup anyway, and it's a professional setup, and it might be useful if you're thinking about online streaming, either doing your own Bible studies or whatever you choose to do. Then I'm always here to help. And so, as I said before, freely I receive, freely I give, and I have no issues with that. So this is my setup. This is the actual camera that I use. It's, in actual fact, it looks well. I've got a secondary one here. I'm just pulling it apart. So this is, if anything goes wrong with that one, then I would use this second one. But this is lesser than that, but it's still very powerful. Logitech C910, and that's a C20, and it's really powerful. And you can see it's high definition, HD, and it works. I mentioned before that I use rather than a physical mixing desk that it's under my bed. Actually, I'm going to pull it out at some point and give it to somebody, but I now use a virtual mixing facility that takes over and takes control of my Windows audio system. So I control it through this free software, and it's really powerful. If you're into live streaming, as far as I'm concerned, the best software out there is vMix. There is a free one actually called OBS. Open. I forget what it's called, but it's OBS, and it's free. And I went to a wedding, a funeral recently, and I saw a guy live streaming. I went up to him and asked him, "What software are you using?" He said OBS, and it works. It's free as well. So if you're looking for free software, I recommend OBS every time. But vMix does a lot more than OBS, and even though OBS does a lot. This is the microphone. I call it the bad boy. You can see if I put my mouth closer, it really gives a kind of a richer sound. And it's right here, the Blue Yeti Pro. Most professionals use this one. There are lots of other ones out there, but this is one of the famous one, the Blue Yeti Pro. And you can see I have a headset, so if I'm playing any form of music, then I could hear it through my headset. So there are times when I'm listening to music, and this is one of them. It's instrumental. I love instrumental music. I think instrumental music is just amazing. And I'm just going to go back a little bit right about here. So I have a section within this that I normally go to, and I just think this music is just awesome. So I'll leave it on for a while. So you can see then the headset I use that enables me to hear what I'm being saying. it's sometimes very difficult for me to have music in the background and still talk. So I leave it off for a while. So yeah, and then I got this computer. You can use most computers. I got a laptop, and that laptop is right to my left, and I use it as well with doing live streaming, but mostly this is a PC I use. I've got the Stream Deck, just touch a few buttons. I could just touch a button just like that and it will start making some noise, and press it again and it stops. So it's set up to do various things that I wanted to do. So if you see me do something like this, because I press the button and it automatically goes to that. So that Stream Deck is really powerful. I use it a lot as well. So if there are lots of people on the call or on the set, I could talk to them using just a press button. So that's really kind of cool. Lighting is key when it comes to live streaming. So if you ever do live streaming, your lighting is going to be key. So I use this Pix Pro, but there's lots out there. And the idea basically is not to have any shadows in my eyes. So if I make this bigger, you'll see that there's hardly any shadows because of the way I position them. Kind of diffused the actual lighting and so on. Oftentimes you see people with ring lights and you can see it really in the glasses. It's because it's not diffuse light. It's just really bright in the glasses, and it's probably sometimes it's not positioned right. It's not high enough. Just looking straight at them, so you're gonna get reflection in your glasses in that sense. I use a mobile phone to receive text, and also the iPad which is really what I'm writing on now. So I'm using my Apple Pencil, and I'm writing on the Apple Pencil, and it's really wonderful because it serves as my whiteboard. So as I said in the past, I could just come and I could write a statement. I could draw, for example, a circle, and make sure that it's really kind of real circle, exact square, and so on. So, and then I could do kind of lots of crazy stuff if I want to color them in. And so it operates, my iPad function as a whiteboard. Plus it can do a lot of other things as well on the screen, but that was one of my major function of it when we do the setup. So yeah, that's the setup that I use. And if you have any questions or any comments, then please go ahead and put those in the chat room, and I'll be delighted and happy to assist you with any questions or comments that you may have. And I think that live streaming, for those of you that are interested in live streaming, I mean, it's you can do it inexpensively or expensively. So there's lots of options as well. And then we're live streaming in Zoom. We're doing it YouTube, Facebook, the website. We're also using Twitch now. And software that I use, you can see them at the bottom here. I use Photoshop. And that's really top of the market kind of, graphic design software. Canva, I mentioned before that it's a free software online, and it's really is the best I've come across, to tell you the truth. And it really can help your church or your business really excel and so on. vMix is a software that I use. Voice Meter, I mentioned that before, which is up here. I use also DaVinci Resolve, which is interesting because DaVinci Resolve is one of the most amazing software out there. I gotta show it to you. I think I'm just gonna start it up, but it is definitely one of the most amazing software that's out on the market today. It's free as well, and it's just absolutely amazing actually. So let me go to that software. And DaVinci Resolve, as you can see, is opening up, and it's just amazing. So I'll just look at a complete new project actually. And DaVinci Resolve is a software that I use for video editing and also for slideshows, professional slideshows and video editing. So what DaVinci Resolve does is that you can deal with color. Sorry, I meant. Sorry about that. You can deal with color correction, which is really, and this is free. I mean, I have the paid version, but this is free, right? And I only have the paid version because there are some things I wanted to do that the free version didn't do. But this is free. This is a free software. And you don't really need a paid version, to tell you the truth. So you can do all your color corrections here in the video and even photos as well. And you also have an audio section as well. So you can do all of your audio, and it's just amazing what you can do and so on. So it's DaVinci Resolve, and it's free. Just go to the website and just type in DaVinci Resolve and just download it if you're into video editing. So let me just go to a project that I may have done. I think this is perfectly fine because this is publicware and so on. So I did this particular project for a client, and it's just truly amazing what I'm not able to do. And this, you can probably hear it. I'm not so sure if you can. You probably can hear it, but it's just an amazing slideshow that I put together, and it's just amazing software, and it's free. So if you're into video editing, if you're into audio and stuff, DaVinci Resolve is a free software, and it's just truly amazing. So you can, for example, in the audio section, I could just play a particular audio, and I could do all the corrections that I need. It's just amazing. Okay, it's just amazing. Well, I can show this because this is public for the family. It was actually live streamed recently. So it's a free software. It's amazing, and the learning curve is quite tricky as well. So DaVinci Resolve, if you want a good software for video editing, free, but you're gonna have to have this learning curve. It's gonna be a lot of learning curve, but there's a lot of videos on YouTube, so you can go to YouTube and type in DaVinci Resolve for beginners. That's how I learned it, and you can do the exact same as well. So it's just amazing. I'm not gonna do a lesson in it, but just to share it with you. And I have lots of videos, background images that I have inside of here, and it's just absolutely amazing what I can do and what you can do to a project if you were to do your own project and so on and so forth. So it's really a great tool to use, and it's free. So I'll leave that with you on that front. Okay, let me just go back to where we were here and just go from there. I just want to say hello to a few folks that are here with us tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to say hello to Claudia B and also to Clive as well. Thank you so much for joining us, and everyone else who is watching. Thank you so much. So it's a free software, and you can use it on Windows as well as on Mac, and it's a powerful software. I use it all the time, and that's free. And I like to talk about free things because those free things out there can help the church, help your business, help you as an individual excel in what you're doing, and it makes your work very much professional and so on. I wanted to thought about one of the things I would share with you tonight, and I thought about sharing with you on some very quick financial tips that I think would be of great benefit indeed. So I'm going to share my screen again and just jump over to some things that I feel would be of great benefit. Now, I those of you that's into website design, if you're interested in website design, let me know, and I will share some things with you. Now, this website is called protectus.life. That's a website that I designed and for Sister Shez, who deals with wills and things like that. Okay, she deals with wills and probates and things of that particular nature. And on her website, there are some financial tips which I think are quite interesting and quite powerful. And the first one talks about values and visions, and about when dealing with financial tips. Here are some tips that I think would be really, really useful. You might find them very useful. I certainly find them useful in my own personal life, and I think that they would be of great asset to you. And the first one is around values and visions. Okay, make sure that you do not compromise on your integrity. And integrity really is about honesty, truthfulness, and being transparent in the sense of honesty and trustworthiness and so on. And it's about dealing with finances. It starts with setting clear values and visions for your financial freedom. So financial freedom should be everyone's target when it comes to finances. And so these points here are really significant. And so the first point is based around values and visions. You need to know what your values are, what you will and will not do. Will you steal to get money? Will you not steal? And things like that. That's really will define your values. And then when we talk about vision, is how much money would you like to make per year? Would you like to be financially free, and by when? And so it's important that you understand values and visions. You can download this, come back here at protectus.life, and all the details are there. Financial tips, you will see that at the top up here. The second one is, I think is my favorite, is to invest in yourself every day. And I want you to notice it's the first letter, it starts with V, and then the second one is I. Okay, so you should invest in yourself, developing your ASK, your attitude, skills, and knowledge, because the more you develop your attitude, skills, and knowledge, the more valuable you become, the more you're worth, okay? And the more people will pay you to listen to you, okay? And study others, learn from them, use their tactics, their tips. And I remember, we used to have a school called BTI. We now call it TSM, but BTI stood for Bible Training Institute. And I really do like that title, actually, and I probably will use it at some point, Bible Training Institute. And I think it was just a powerful title. And one of the first things I learned on Bible Training Institute was the largest room in the world is a room for improvement. And so financial literacy should be the goal, to become financially literate, so that we understand how money works, how money functions, and so on. So the key here is to invest in yourself. Whatever field you're in, whatever area you are in, is to become an expert in it, to become a master of that particular field that you're in. So you're developing your skill. And the scripture says your gift or will make room for you. And you could look at that in several different ways. But certainly one way that I am absolutely certain about that works is that the more you develop your skill, is the more your skills make room for you. It's just that simple. Save, be fruitful, and multiply. Did not God say be fruitful and multiply? Well, that's what he said. And I read 2 books during the same time. And I think everyone should read those books when it comes to finances. And the first one is The Richest Man in Babylon. And that book probably is worth less than £1 today. The Richest Man in Babylon. And the second book is by a guy called Robert Kiyosaki. And the book is entitled Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's really, really powerful. And in these 2 books, they speak about making sure that you pay yourself every month. Every money you earn, you pay yourself. Some will say, pay yourself first. We pastors will say, pay your tithe first. But pay yourself. In other words, we recommend that you pay yourself a minimum of 10%. So therefore, if you earn £2,000, you receive £2,000 in your wages, that means £200 is your wages, really, because the rest is going to go to bills and all kind of different stuff. But at least 10% of that will not go towards a rainy day, but it will go towards your old age, your pension, that type of thing. Saving is not investing, and a lot of people are not aware of that. And let money slave for you. Don't be a slave to money. One of the key words that you should always remember when you talk about finances is the word residual income. Now, residual income simply means that you do a job once and you get paid for it residually, ongoing. Take, for example, Michael Jackson. He sang Thriller once, but he's constantly being paid. Well, now that he's passed away, somebody else is reaping the dividends of that. That's residual income. I wrote a book, and I've got one here and I can quickly grab. And I've only written this book once. It took me quite a while to write it. It's called The Temptation Trap. I wrote it once, but it's bringing in royalties all the time. That's residual income. No matter how small it is, it's still residual income. Always think residual income, okay? So save, be fruitful, and multiply. The next one is control your spending. Manage your expenditure. Never spend more than you earn. Very important. It's principles that many people use to be able to control and manage their expenditure. Never spend more than you earn. I mean, that's just wisdom. If you're going to spend more than you earn, that's not wisdom. You're putting yourself in debt, and it's going to increase if you don't watch it. Overprotect and guard against destruction. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. I don't co-sign a loan for anybody. Not me. In fact, scripture warns against that. That you may stand surety for somebody in all good faith until something goes wrong. One of the things we always say to people, and a key word to bear in mind, is the word diversification. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't put all your money into the same one bank. You might want to diversify in different ways, because if that bank goes down, you go down. And always remember to have a will and adequate liability insurance. I mean, these are just standard and basic. Everyone should have a will and adequate liability insurance. I mean, that's just basic. Now, share with others. Really, I think this is a real great point. You know, one of the secret of living is giving. Pay your tithe, give your offerings, help other people to become heroes. It's one of the things I love to do. I just love to help people. If anybody who comes to me, I'm going to help them. You know, I'll be very busy. There are times when I'm extremely busy and someone comes to me for help. I just help them. Sometimes I take an hour out of my time, and some cases 2 hours, and just go help them. You know, one lady I was talking to on the phone, and she was really depressed. And I says, she lived around 100 and something miles from me. I said, what's the address? Because I just knew that if I went to see her, even though it's costing me greatly, I might just be able to help her. And she gave me the address after much asking, because she lived with her parents, and she didn't think I would come. And I didn't tell her I was coming. I just asked her, what's your address? And she said, you know, and she gave it to me. And before you know it, I was on her doorstep, knocking her door, meeting her mom and dad. She couldn't believe I did something like that, give up my time to come. But somebody needs help, help them. Always remember this. You may never become wealthy working for others. Well, you can if you are like a premiership manager who probably have £1 million contract with the club. Of course, you can become wealthy working for somebody else. But that's not the norm. That's not the norm. The majority of us will not become wealthy working for somebody else. So always think about your own business. And a lot of people don't think that they're a business, but you are a business. And when people pay you, they're paying you for your services that you render to that company. So you have rendered your skills, your knowledge, and all of that, and they're paying you for that. Well, you're a business. You are a business. Someone's paying you for your services. Call it an employer or whatever, but they're still paying you for your services. And I always tell people, mind your own business. Make sure you take care of your own business, and make sure you run that excellently. And final one is around letting us know the points I've just gone on, so you make sure you have your values and your vision. I use the word viscose as a very easy memory aid to remind me of these points. The word viscose is something like a very sticky or glue that sticks together and so on, very, very tight and so on. So values and vision, make sure you invest in yourself every day. Save, be fruitful, and multiply. Always remember that saving is not investing. Control and manage your expenditure. Overprotect and guard against destruction. Share it with others, and always operate from the standpoint that you are a business. I hope that was useful, and if you have any questions or comments, please put those in the chat room for me, and I'll be delighted to assist you where I can. Okay, let's get back over to here. Okay, so that was some tips I wanted to share with you. Not going to be long tonight, actually, but I just thought I would share those with you, because I think, you know, from a financial standpoint, a lot of people struggle, and these are tips. But if you want those points, just go back to protect us. Let me just write it down, and let me just write it down here. It's protect us. So it's PROTECT, protect us .life. And it's right there at the top, financial tips, you'll see it. And then you could download those if you want. Freely we receive, freely we give. That's just the way I look at it. Don't forget, if you have any questions or any comments, please link up with me. Now, there's one thing that I speak about a lot about, and I think it really is. I'm gonna go to it, and one of the things I believe personally is that everyone should learn to play chess. It's just my opinion. Now, if, for example, let's say, for example, you don't know how to play, that's fine. But I would strongly recommend, if you've got grandchildren or children, teach them how to play chess. This is a community that this is free, by the way. Chess.com is free, but I have a paid account, and the reason why I have a paid account, because I'm trying to become a far better chess player. I'm not good at the moment. I'm kind of, I know what I'm doing type of thing. So what I do, I come here and I could go and watch, let's say, a live chess game, and I could just go and watch these ladies play. And is it ladies? Yeah, I could go and watch these ladies play live chess on .tv, and here is the game. And they're playing chess, and sometimes I just come here and I just watch, the game and see what's going on and all of that stuff. But I strongly recommend, actually, they're playing sort of like 3-minute game, and these are very good chess players. You could see by the score down here, 1981. Can't see the other score. Let me just click off here. Just click on follow. I can't see the other one, so probably they've gone and so on. But anyway, I'll just go back home. So one of the things that I do, basically, because one of the things about chess, I heard of a school where it's compulsory that every child has to learn chess. And the thing about chess is similar to our daily life. We go through various different challenges that you got to try and solve, puzzles that you're trying to fix, and so on. And chess allows you to really think on different levels, because there are so many different moves that you can make. And some of our kids, if you go on YouTube, for example, they are extremely good players. They would beat me with blindfolded. There are people who play blindfolded chess. They can just, I just don't know how to do it, but they play blindfolded chess. So oftentimes I would come here and I would play a puzzle, and my score is pretty good, actually, because I guess I do it a lot. And the quicker I solve the puzzle, the more points that I get. So I'm trying to figure out what this puzzle is. I just don't know what. Let me see now. I'm trying to think if I can see what the actual puzzle is suggesting, and I can't see for the life of me what's going on here. Can't see at all, so I don't know. I suppose if he goes here, no, I can't figure this one out. This one is a tough one, so I leave this one. But it's what I do every night. I come and I play, and sometimes I just play against different people from around the world. So I strongly recommend, if you want to learn chess, again, YouTube is a very, very powerful place where you can actually go and learn how to play. And it's just phenomenal, really, to tell you the truth. Really is phenomenal. I'm still trying to figure out actually how to do this. Still trying to think what's the way out of this. Can't see it. Just can't see it. Just can't see it. I think I'm gonna make a guess. Going to make a guess. I think I'm gonna be wrong, but you know what? Who knows? Let me see. I'm just gonna hazard a guess that I have to check the king. That I do know, and there's only one check that I can make on the king, and it's either this piece here or here. So I have a feeling it's going to be here, but then it's not gonna make no sense whatsoever if I do that. So I'm still trying to figure out where should I do the check, but I have to do a check or else I could lose the game. Boom, boom, boom. Can't see it. All right, let's hazard a guess. I was wrong. Let me get an hint. It was maybe here. I did think it was there. I knew it was some. Okay, so yeah, I was wrong. And let me get another hint. Okay, very interesting. Okay, I knew it was one of these spots. I just wasn't sure which one it was, but I knew it was these spot. But this is something I do, and you can see up here I lost points, so I dropped some points down to 27-20. But I strongly recommend actually that this is something that I think all of our children should learn to do, learn to play chess. And I think that chess.com is free. A lot of people using it for free. I have the paid account and I use that. Okay, let me go back, see if there's any questions for me. Okay. I want to say thanks again, Claudia B, for coming, Brother Clive for coming, and those of you that's here. I'm just recommending a few things, and that I think would really help you to excel in certain things. I need pastimes. I need to do things, so I do different things, and I show you one other thing that I do, which is really I find really remarkable. And some years ago, I bought a. It's not available now, but you can get it in different ways, different ways. But I actually bought a software that teaches me how to play backgammon. Now, backgammon is a game that is really among the rich. I don't really see much people around me playing backgammon. Not many people understand how backgammon works. So I can play against a complete novice or an expert. So I play against the expert, and it's interesting. Basically, straight away the expert got a real amazing shot against me, and if I hit, I'm gonna hit anyway. And yeah, really hit me hard there, which is really interesting. So I'm going to have to do that, and that's really interesting. Yeah, and basically what I've just done is doubled the game. So I've resigned from that game, but it really is because I understand how the game work. I can do it very very quickly. Um, I'm going to do 4-3. Um, ooh, that's heavy. That's heavy. That's heavy. Oh, one. Oh, that's heavy. I'm in trouble again. Big trouble. So I'm going to resign from that. I've lost. There's no way out of that one. And the expert is very, very good. Very, 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 very good. The expert level. So those are some of the things I do. Some of the pastime. It can't just be work. There's got to be some pastime, and some of the things I do, chess, backgammon, are some of the things that I do to pass the time and to make sure that I'm not going insane with the amount of work that I have to do. But if you have any questions or any comment for me, please put those in the chat room. And I just want to share one more last thing with you before I go. I'm going to close up maybe around 10 o'clock ish. So if you have any questions for me, do go ahead and put those in the chat room. So what am I saying? First of all, number one, I've mentioned about my setup in terms of live streaming. So if you're interested in live streaming, I'm more than happy to assist you, give you advice, and to help you to set up your live streaming if that's what you're interested in. If you're not, then that's perfectly fine. And so if you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask it. Secondly, I have mentioned about some financial tips. You can go to Protect Us, and I've given you the website here, protectus.life. And those tips I went through, VISCOSE, so values, vision, and values and visions. Invest in yourself. Save, be fruitful and multiply. Control your expenditure. Overprotect and guard against destruction. And share what you have. And always think of yourself as a business. You are a business. And whatever you get paid for is what your products and services are. Whatever you get paid for, if you get paid for your knowledge, that's your products and services that you're selling to that company. So if you're working in McDonald's and you are a cleaner, you're selling your cleaning skills. You're in business. And always remember what I said. This is a tip that I think that I've shared already. Always pay yourself 10% of what you earn. Let me give you an example of this. Let's say, for example, you get £2,000 a month. Well, that's £2,400. So you would have saved £2,400 in the first year. That's money in your cut. Now, hear me good. This money is not for holiday. It's not for a rainy day. It's not for a fridge. This is for your pension, your old age. This is your business that you're talking about here. So that's just 1 year. And let's say you got it in a very small, low interest account. You're not getting much interest on it. That's fine for the time being. After the second year, you keep doing the same thing. You've now got £4,000 £800. This is the second year. What you want to do from this point on is be careful what newspaper you read. Make sure you're reading something like the Financial Times. What are you looking for? You're looking for investment, safe investment opportunities. Safe investment opportunities. The higher the return, the greater the risk. Okay? Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. So you now have £4,800. You might want to, let's say for example, you took £800 out of that and you went and bought some t-shirts or something that you can sell. You're now running your business in a very profitable way, saying, well, I've bought these wholesale t-shirts that I can probably sell for double or for more. You see the point I'm making? So you're now looking for opportunities, investment opportunities. But you know what's interesting? After the fourth year, just 4 years, just on that basic principle, nothing else, you've got around £10,000. You know, it's amazing, you know, this principle that I'm sharing with you. And this is not something that I've come up with. This is others who have shared this. But this is after 4 years. Could you imagine if you and your wife were doing this? That could be now, let's call it 20,000. Do you now see what you and your wife could potentially do with 20,000? Not a holiday, not a rainy day, not for curtains, not for refrigeration, not for a new TV, nothing of that nature. None of those things. Are you following me? None of those things. None of those things. Just check in to see something here. And okay, no problem. Now, should I go further? After 10 years or 8 years? No, I'll leave it there. You get the drift of what I'm saying. Okay. So always pay yourself 10% of what you earn. Pay yourself. Now, in closing, I think I've given you enough tips tonight, unless there are questions. In the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, powerful book, which is less than £1, probably one of the most powerful books ever written when it comes to finances, and it really is well written. I think you can get the book online free, actually. I think you can get it for free. I think I've got it on my website for free. I'll show you my website in a moment. The question was asked to a young man. He says, young man, tell me, when you get your wages, what do you do with it? He said, sir, I pay my rent. I pay my mortgage. So the man says, oh, so you work for the bank. Okay, that's perfectly fine. You got to live somewhere. So you're working for the bank. Okay, no problem. What else do you do? Well, he says, well, I pay my tithe. He says, oh, you work for the church. Fantastic. So you pay your tithe, right? No problem. What else do you do? He says, well, I pay my bills. Oh. So he said, so you work for the utility companies. You know, like the gas and food and all of these wonderful things. He said, what else happened with your money? He says, a strange thing happened. He said, I pay my taxes. He said, oh, you work for the government. who else do you pay? He said, I think that's about it. So he says, you pay your rent, you pay your mortgage, so you work for the bank. Is that correct? Yes. So you pay your tithe, so therefore you work for the church. Is that correct? Yes. So you pay all your bills, utility bills, and all of that. So you're working for all these other companies. Is that correct? Yes. And you pay your taxes, right? And so on, government, yeah. And then he said, thou fool, you have paid everybody except yourself. And then he was advised, pay yourself at least 10% of whatever you earn. I think this personally to me is one of the most powerful financial tips that's ever been shared, ever. This tip here. Because if you follow this principle, you'll be amazed where you will be in a few years later. Because as you begin to grow your business, you will find opportunities to make more money. You know, it's interesting. Money attracts money. This is a principle that many people don't understand. Money attracts money. I was sharing this principle with a young lady, and as I was talking to her, she just got up and walked out of my house. I couldn't understand what happened. A few hours later, in the evening, she came back. I said, what happened? He said, Errol, when I listened to what you were saying, I was so impressed that I had to go and sort out some business that I was neglecting. She didn't tell me what it was, and I didn't need to know, but she left immediately to go correct certain things. And right now, today, I am impressed with that particular sister in how she has managed her affair using these principles. I promise I'll show you my website. I'm not so sure if I could find a book on the website as quickly as I normally would do, but I'll go to my website nonetheless and just to show you what my website looked like. This is my personal website I'm coming to, if I can actually get to it. All right, let's go up here. This is it. So this is my personal website. I'll just click on go to the home page. I think the home page is here. So this is my personal website that I built, and I hardly do anything to it. It's just there. It does sells books and things like that on it, and people can subscribe to a newsletter. So it's at errolwilliams.org. And I on this, if people want to know who I am, then I've written a profile, my profile of who I am and how people can actually get in touch with me and all of that. And it's interesting actually because with Bishop Mike Wilson, we ran one of the most amazing personal development program, which is here, and it was in the Evening Standard actually. There's been several press release about certain things, companies that I've done work for, and some of the most amazing testimonials of the training that has been done has just been this world actually, some of the comments. And these are many of the companies about the opportunity of doing training for, and so on and so forth. And it's just my profile of who I am and what I do and all that kind of stuff. But there are I'm just trying to see if there's an article. I think these are different articles. One of my best articles here is about the bald eagle. And I think this is just so amazing, this particular story that I put together about the bald eagle, and you can download it. It's free. Freely I receive, freely I give, and I tell the story about the bald eagle and certain tips that I think would be very useful. And those of you that are interested in funerals and weddings that I do, well, I do a lot of funerals and weddings, most of funerals, in fact, lots and lots and lots of funerals. And the interesting thing about the live stream inside of it is just truly amazing. Some of the comments that have been received, and you can see some of the live stream. So this particular one here, actually, which is Nathan Burton, it really is a sad story, a real sad story, because he was actually murdered whilst coming from home. And you can see here over 33,000 views of, but that was 2 years ago. And this was an amazing service that we did for the family. And interestingly enough, I did this one free. Yeah, my time was absolutely free on this. And this is the father, Ron Burton, giving his tribute to his son who has passed away. And it was a remarkable send-off, in fact, really remarkable. I think that's his son here as well. But yeah, these are some of the things that I do. I'm going to leave it there unless you have a question for me. And if not, then I will close out there. But I'll be back hopefully tomorrow. And my subject matter tomorrow, I believe, I haven't been here for quite some time actually. So Thursday is about the book of Romans, and so I'll be here tomorrow with the book of Romans. If you want to join me for that, I'll be more than happy to share with you tomorrow. But if you have any questions or anything for me that you would like to find out about, then yeah, I'm here. And just to give you my personal website address, it's my name actually, Errol Williams, and it's .org, and yeah, that's errolwilliams.org. Yeah, that's me. Well, thanks again, everyone. Thank you for your time and for your presence here tonight. I hope there was something different and that there's something that you can take away from tonight's discussion with you. But appreciate your time being here, and love you guys lots, and wish you guys all the best. So take care of yourself and your family. Until next time, bye for now.